We can get started, like I said, even better.
Yeah.
We aren't meeting too fast, so if you want to. All right, we'll go ahead, call the meeting to order. We will start then with ABAD, and that was the easiest one because that one does not apply to us because we're not doing a permanent virtual academy. So I thought, yay, we have one.
Came up with two.
Yeah, so like that. Okay. All right. Then I have next. I have ABA wellness policy. Is that what everyone says? Okay. The biggest thing on this is, you know, we've had this for quite some time, and it's been around probably for years. I don't think we've ever formally had a wellness committee.
We adopted it, but we've never had a committee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had it for years. We've amended it a couple different times. I went back. I think the last one was October 13th of 21. So.
And it says the board shall form a committee. Does that mean that it is a board committee, including board members?
I know it's hard. The word encourages students, school teachers, and board members, and the public to. Well, that's in the making of it.
I think we can go either way on that.
Yes.
I know that.
Right, yeah, as to whether we're on there or not, but yeah, we're gonna have to is, I'd say as soon as school starts and whatever, we should talk to the principals and Aaron or whatever stuff to decide as to have to pay, more attention there as to how many,
This says the superintendent shall designate one individual per school building.
Should be the.
Right.
So just one thing that I had to point out, because I'm not sure how they handle it always in the grade school, and I understand why, but, that they're allowed to carry water bottles throughout the day, I'm not sure. I mean,
right.
I agree that should be part of the policy, I'm not sure that like the kindergarten teachers always do that, because it can be a problem.
Yeah.
But it's also a better alternative than making 27 trips to the water fountain.
Right,
Yes.
right. About the new part of it though,
Well, and then it references AR2 in here, which isn't something they sent.
yeah, I know
AR3,
that's.
and I don't know if we've ever had an AR2.
Oh, no, I have it with me. It's, so according to what I found, it was last dated in 2016.
Okay, I do see that as one time when we amended the actual policy, the ABEA itself, so.
Oh, and this has, but this is a little redundant because it has the whole wind chill thing, temperature, which is on this, isn't it? Or not? Maybe it's not.
I don't think so. This was all about, looks like it was all about nutrition, hydration.
Okay, so this one has like when the kids have to stay in from recess, and the only thing is to make sure, to me, is to make sure that that matches what we have in the handbook.
Right, yes.
Which I kind of think it does.
Yeah.
Below 10, below, well, actually, no, because this doesn't make sense, because it says, recess is preferably outdoors except when the temperature is below 10 below Fahrenheit or wind chill is below 10 below Fahrenheit. I suppose that does make sense.
It does if it's calm day.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, we would probably just have to check the temperature on the
Which-
AR2, which,
Which principals do, I mean.
yeah.
Right,
Shouldn't say that, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is in.
But I mean, just to make sure we have it the same as what is in, well, you know what?
it is. I know it is. I read it.
You did, okay, I was just gonna say, I've got the employee handbook, so, okay, good, so then that way, so AR2 is good, okay, so even though it wasn't on our list today, but then it's good to know
I
that.
mean, and we should update that if that actually is the last time we. I mean, we should get all these dates so that they're all 2024, so.
Or better,
You
yeah.
know, or,
AR2, I'm gonna put down need to do like the next time or something.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they have, that's part of the reason why.
Okay, so we got that one on the list, okay.
But
All right.
anyway, as far as this
This
one, the new part,
Yeah, there's only a couple spots that are in bold. Like the second page where it says the district has, well, that's okay. It has implemented regulation AR2, and we have, so we could keep that in here then. Correct, you said, does it talk about,
yeah,
I mean, because if we have it, then we can reference it.
yeah.
So, we're okay.
In case we don't get it on the
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have them, or how that works. Well, no, because, true, because the back, at the end it always says, when it says complimentary documents, it always says may contain. So it's listed there, so we wouldn't have to put it in there because in the back it says that we may have these. And we'll have an AR2, and then we'll see if we're gonna do an AR3 here, or whatever, so. Doesn't make a difference. Does it talk about physical activity in there?
Classroom teachers are encouraged to provide short 5 to 15-minute physical activity breaks between lessons or classes as appropriate.
As appropriate is the
Yeah.
key phrase
Yeah,
there.
it's a cute, yeah. So, it doesn't, doesn't make a difference. We can either leave it in here or not, or just leave it back here where it says that we may have. So what do you want? Doesn't make a difference to me. Here it says it has implemented regulation AR2.
Let's maybe take that out so that if we
would change it or not have it or something, because back here, like I said, it does say that we may have these documents, so it would be covered if they did, so, okay.
So we're taking out the arches.
That one on the second page where it says optional,
Yeah.
listing it, yeah, even though we'll keep AR2, our old one that we had for now, it's just that, because on the back page it just says that there's all these things. All right, the other thing I see on page 3, then there was an option there under nutrition standards. I don't know, the one I could see that we do have out of all those that were listed was the fresh fruit and vegetable program, but do we really need to list them or not? I mean, I just think then, what if we get a different one, then we have to change it?
right, that's our problem. Anyway.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking not, but I guess it's up to what you guys think.
Well,
Or do we?
the following sentence basically covers everything. The district shall comply with the USDA Smart Snacks and
Right.
school nutrition standards for all competitive foods
Mm-hmm,
and beverages sold on school.
right, yeah.
To me, the only reason to keep that optional sentence is if that's, like if Kavia looks at that and says, oh, you do, but I mean, there should be other ways for them to see that besides policy.
Mhm.
I don't think they go through policy anyway.
Well, right, yes. No, I don't think so. I've never heard them. And I just thought, oh, then we gotta change it every time we add one or take one out or whatever. So I just thought, okay, so we'll get rid of
What
it.
if it just said the district also operates additional nutrition related programs and activities, period?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
As long as we always do.
Right.
I guess I'm fine with that too.
mhm. Yeah, I just didn't like the idea of naming them. So we'll just keep the first sentence then. Alright, and then on the 4th page is where it was under hydration standards was the last optional thing there.
So my question is logistics,
Yeah,
because I've long wanted us to do whole milk and we couldn't, so I hope we do bring that back, but the question is why, I mean, it says through a bulk dispenser.
right, there was, I didn't pay attention in legislature, but I do remember them looking at something like this.
I mean, does is that, and only through bulk dispenser, can we now do cartons of whole milk or?
Yeah.
And I didn't look at the bill because I didn't have time, but I'm just curious what.
You know what, when you look above there too, in the hydration standards, that last sentence before the bolded optional stuff, it says, in addition, students shall be allowed to bring and carry water bottles filled with only water throughout the day. It kind of covers that AR2 sentence there about.
Right.
But, yeah, and then limited to how many number of glasses of milk, I don't even.
Well.
I can't even say for sure if we do. Because we have cartons.
But we don't have a bulk dispenser.
Right,
So
yeah.
that whole thing,
Is that something we should be looking at or no?
that's a big, years past when they used to do bulk dispensers. I think the problem was always regulating temperature with them.
I just don't even.
Really?
I think there must have been a reason they got rid of them. I don't know, maybe the
And I
creameries don't do them
Well,
anymore.
They do it at the BSU, they do it at
Right.
Farmhouse Fraternity, they do.
You know, I suppose when they go through more maybe or something. I don't know.
I would think at 300 students a day would. I mean, I don't know, I don't know the cost difference, I'm just,
Right, so maybe for now we can leave that out because we don't have it.
but in the meantime, can we get cartons of whole milk now?
I don't know the answer to that.
You could ask Tracy, I mean, she would be the one that would know.
Yeah.
I would. And,
Yeah, cause this says district shall, I mean, we're not gonna do a dispenser by this year,
yes.
more than likely, so.
Mhm. Right,
I think it's something we should look into, but
right, but we could probably just leave it out for now, if we don't have it anyway, and yeah, you could just find out from her if you wanted to see if she, you know, if that's something that's, would be, I don't know how many would drink it, but. All right, did you see any other things with that one?
Nope.
Okay, so there's ABEA. And we have to look at the AR3 then with it.
So my question on 3 is, does this include the snacks that are being brought in by parents? And it's not real clear to me unless I'm missing something. This appears to apply to stuff that is served by the school.
Right, that's kind of what I thought.
This,
Because it talks about a la carte options and so, well, would that say vending machines, but
it says these, and it's talking about
Yeah.
foods and drinks that are being sold
Mhm.
specifically.
Oh, sold.
Yes.
It's in the first paragraph, basically the last
It says
sentence.
That is applied.
3 times.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's nice. See, now that's,
Because I'm sure it's their standards.
right.
Yeah. And I suppose if they changed, because there really wasn't much. There wasn't any options to do any changes in
Yeah.
there, so.
I'm assuming that that's all Tracy follows us, right?
Right, yeah, I would think so. Okay, so we're okay on that.
Well, it's the same regulation that dictates what's put in the pop machines too,
Right.
which is fine.
Right,
Yep.
right, yeah. So, okay, so we're okay with that one. With the AR3, we'll move on to ACBDE4. Yeah, no, that's okay.
I forgot, but I tried to keep these written on this paper, so I have one paper. Right all the way down the bottom.
Oh, yeah, the ABEA.
AR3.
Was- Okay, all right, the ACBDE4, emergency medication check-in form. You know, I never thought I should have asked Connie as to what they use.
Should I call her quick? She's in her office.
I did see that, yeah, she pulled up a little bit ago and see once if we have an official form or what we use, because if not, this one would certainly be.
I don't. I mean, and this is new.
Yeah.
It wasn't allowed before, so
Yeah.
I'm quite confident she does not have. I mean, I've never been asked to do any of this, and
Yeah.
my kids are definitely on this list.
Well, right, yeah. Which I think it would be a,
I mean, I can attest, like, I've seen, if kids come in and want medicine, I mean, I've seen her give it to kids.
Right.
Before.
Well, there is, I'm 98% sure that there would be one for administering like aspirin and that kind of thing. But this being an emergency medication check-in form.
right.
There's a form, you mean for permission for?
Yes,
Yeah, there used to be a not.
they're out there.
Okay.
What else is
I mean, I hope there is.
Me too.
But yeah, I get what you mean. This one is more like you said, if you're having an
Kid just had
anaphylaxis
a
reaction
or
or,
tonsillectomy and had to
right,
have
or
medication to go with it.
asthma or something, all of a sudden maybe they have, whatever, I get it. So I guess I don't see a problem with it. I guess it's,
I like it.
No, I
Yes.
think this is a good thing.
Yep.
I think this
Yes.
is very, very, very long time needed.
Yep.
okay, all right, so that one is okay. If I remember right, the exhibits and the regulations, are those the ones that just need to be a one-time reading?
I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so that we know, okay. I thought so. Let's see, then the next one I show is ACCB.
Mary do.
And that one, that was a new one, and when I looked on this here listing, it's a required one.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was going through here.
And
This one too is like, okay, that was only one thing that we could even make optional.
oh, there it is.
So is this basically another, it's not, they don't really call it a committee, but it's like, this is another, like a safety plan, that is just something another thing that needs to be drawn up? Yeah,
This is, wow, I hope we don't have this situation.
Yeah.
yeah,
What do you think?
Yeah.
yeah, and nowadays, yeah,
I mean, I understand the reason for this policy, but yikes.
yeah.
I assume that should be maybe scheduled annual.
I would say.
I was just writing
And the
down.
reality of it is, some of these policies are written for bigger schools,
Right,
but there's always the what if scenario, right?
Right.
yeah, you never know.
Well, and it talks about basically kicking the kid out.
Right. Mhm. Yeah.
It's,
You hate, I tell you, we hope we never do, but you always say, what if?
I worry a little bit with this policy about because it's a minor, I worry a little bit about, the rights of the perpetrator with this policy, but, I mean, I'm assuming staff would take care of that.
Yeah.
So,
I did kind of put that down so far, that we got a wellness committee and a safety plan. So, I'd like to- yeah, I was just like, I put that on the list of things to do. Okay, so ACCB is okay.
with the lunch.
Oh, yeah, just add, yeah, we're picking the option of annual, not biannual, okay? All right, and the next one I show is ACG. This was a new one, and this one is a recommended one. Thoughts on this one?
So, I think this is the one that I felt not necessarily redundant, but kind of. So we already have our homeless liaison,
Right.
and I thought, well, could that just be an expanded type situation?
True.
I mean, I would think that this would fall under, because our homeless liaison is our counselor anyway, correct?
Right.
I think
I
this
would,
would
it
fall
would
under
fall
that.
under that same umbrella, I would
Right.
guess.
I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't have this policy, but as far as.
Right, but they could also list her as that.
And again, like you were talking about, this is more for a big school, do we actually have? Well, okay, is this the one that talks about they need to communicate, or how they need to work with CPS?
Yeah, talked about. Yeah. As an authorized agent.
And then there's another one, kind of too, with the safety plan, it's,
So on the first optional thing there on page 2, do we not already? Oh, ancillary and support staff
yeah,
for PD.
but we really should do some training, I suppose, because they should all be mandatory reporters, correct? If they were
That's why
here.
they wouldn't be.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're,
I don't know either. I guess it's okay to say that the district may require.
yeah, because it says that's May, so. Okay, so let's keep that sentence. And how about on the third page of that optional paragraph under the mandated reporting? Suppose if something comes up,
But I don't necessarily like it because essentially it's saying that anytime there's a report of suspected child abuse, that the safety liaison is the one who has to file it. Anybody can file it, and anybody should be able to file it with, proper notification of the building principal.
yeah, because too late.
We don't have to have it.
The child, yeah, even like the first one too, the first page, the child safety liaison work group must at least meet twice annually. I worry that we're gonna,
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about some of the stuff
meeting
in here.
all of,
The criteria.
yeah. I mean, cause hopefully it's something that we're not gonna need, but I don't know. This could be the what if, but I don't know, I just worry that, like same with, like you said, it's having to make sure that all the paperwork and, it talks about here,
And I think a lot of this is covered under your mandated reporter training to begin with.
yeah,
That's why I was like, this is a little redundant.
It is.
It's just
Like,
like
it
we
essentially adds a title to somebody's
right.
already long list of titles.
And then extra meetings and work.
Right.
Right, which I don't mind if she kind of would be the
The go.
first,
Yeah.
but yet to have to be it so formal, and yeah, I agree about,
And,
if we don't have any report, but still, it's like, oh,
and a lot of times, in my past, stuff would be reported to the counselor would come to me, together we would file a joint report.
right. And I have no problem, if nothing else coming out of this, is that even if we don't do this here, that I would say that it would be nice if we would do some mandatory required training for all staff. I mean, ancillary and everything, because they should.
And
Some of them maybe don't know what they're supposed
if
to
they
do.
aren't, they should.
Right.
Based on what I saw here, our professional development is already directed by needs, because there's so many training things in here
Yeah.
Yeah,
that it's like, to cover it all, you get all your PD names girl.
yeah, there's no time for anything else. So I'm okay if we, and like I said, it's a recommended, it's, we have to.
But like you said, it kind of falls under
Mhm.
big district theoretically.
Well, what if instead of like adding this policy, we like reworked the homeless? Maybe that's not.
Well, I suppose
Well,
they
it's a little
keep,
bit different.
right, and they suppose they categorize them different,
Yeah,
and when they get to the
yeah,
different
that's-
agencies, I'm sure.
Because I don't disagree that there should be kind of a specific person that communicates with,
So that they would know for sure that if something come up with this, that it is who to go to, and
but
then
I
that's the.
don't know, we're a small school, that's.
Anything and everything. If there's gonna be something reported, it needs to run through the building principal.
Right, which that I think they would all know that, and as long as he would know that, and I would assume that something like this would be going, he would obviously, even if they came to him first, I would think that's the first person he would turn to. Just like he does for homeless or anything else.
So do you wanna not do this at all? Do you wanna go to the board and say,
We'd have to really revamp it, I think, a lot, just because of all the, I don't know, unless,
What are your thoughts, Vanessa?
I'm not really good at totally, writing one up from scratch.
well, that, yeah.
But yet, I get it, I know some of it it helps us too that we're following, but then it's a lot, that might not be something that. Or it's one that we could look into more later, I mean, cause it is a recommended, we could look at it. You know, when we've had more time to,
Yeah,
because since it's not a required one, we could hold this one off for a little while, and maybe what we could do is maybe let Misty and Kelly look at this and see what they have to say.
well, and I would like, because we have so many people that are so new, it would be nice to have some time for you guys as admin to see what do we need.
Yes, what's in place now and how do we need to make a shift moving forward? I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, okay, so let's do it, this one we won't pass it through, but we won't say that we're just not going to do it, we'll check into this one we'll let them, we'll give a copy to them too, and that's something they can check later on, so.
Yeah, copy to the other board members and say, this is what we
Right,
are currently kicking this game to the middle.
yes, yeah, and hoping we don't need it. Okay, so that is that one. Okay, then the next one I have is BBA. Okay.
I assume we want to keep our 3 years.
Right, yes. I pulled out the old one, of course.
I think we need stuff from the old one in here because we need to.
Yeah, I know, that's exactly what I was doing too. The first the paragraph under conducting school elections, I like that, let's see what when I read how we had our other one, the option that I thought we would have, instead of saying like, we're gonna do it between April 1st and June 30th or on a specific date, because obviously you aren't gonna do that. How we had it before is the annual election shall be held on the second Tuesday of June each year unless otherwise scheduled by the board to fill any vacancies. That way it gives us an out if for some reason, because I know like there was once or twice when Louisa had training that we ended up, I wrote that down because I took it kind of from the old one a little bit. I mean, because generally we will try to follow the second Tuesday of June for normally along with all elections, but there's been a couple times where we've had to push it back a week or something like that, so I wanted it to be able to have an out there that we could say, or otherwise scheduled by the board to fill any vacancies.
That works for me. Do you, which old one do you have? What's the updated?
This one says July of 22.
Okay.
And then I did like the idea, and I'm not sure where, I didn't figure that out yet, where it had the descriptions of the 4 areas.
Yeah.
You know,
We have to because
they're
so weird.
Yeah, they're so weird. It's not like the city of Harvey is easy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, we could also, even up where it says terms of office, that first one, that has just one sentence there. We could add, do you have your copy with you? A little one? It's like, okay, this has one sentence, and yes, it's 3 years, but here, the last sentence on here is where it says, in the Harvey Public School District number 38, 2 members shall be from the city of Harvey, which is area 1, and 1 member from each of 3 designated areas from the outlying districts, area 2, 3, and 4. Should we also just put that sentence in there too?
I think we just basically insert the old policy after that first sentence.
Yeah, except for I thought, do we wanna, I don't like the idea of listing names all the time, cause then we have to
No, I
redo the policy.
Right.
That was the only thing, is I just thought when we get down here, where we always had it, and that's why every year we have to redo it. So that part.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll give you a copy of that, Zane, and we'll kind of, it just has them all listed out, and then we'll keep that sentence there. Other than that, I think everything else. Okay, all right, so we will add those. Okay, FGA. Let's change that. Okay.
This letter isn't a bad thing, it's exactly.
I you know, right, I thought, I looked at that too, and I know we did have you send a letter, cause that's what you're supposed to do, so he did, I mean, besides calling and letting them know that it's called, the election letter, just so they have a formal letter. I don't know, this way a person could just use this. Basically, you just kind of fill in the name or whatever, I don't know, what do you think, Zane?
And all the bold things are things that have to be done each time.
I don't mind it. Send a-
That way there at least is something to follow, because you really didn't have anything to follow, it just,
Yeah.
it was like sending a letter, so. Cause you would put down, so that they would know the date of the annual board meeting, or, we call them, but it's supposed to be an official letter that they're supposed to get anyway. So.
Well, and I do like that this very much specifies exactly what their amount of time is to do that oath of office.
Right, yes,
Because that's, I know,
Yeah.
I've heard from other people that's a little vague as to when. Cause the way it says, it's like, exactly when am I supposed to do this?
right, yes, right, yeah, because this way he had to figure out the 10 days, and then he called him and said, okay, you have to do it before this date and whatever, but this way it would have it right in there and things, so I guess I thought it was okay, because that way at least it's something to follow.
I also like how it says, you're required to attend your school board member training.
Right,
So they know, we're trying to get Brad on that, so.
right.
And encouraged to attend school board meetings between them, and that's a good thing too.
Right, yeah, so. I guess
No,
I
this
thought-
is a good thing.
Thought it was okay, so, all right. Okay, BCAA is what I have next. And that one, oh my gosh, how many different times have we changed the formats of our agendas? I kind of, and I even asked Wade, I said, here, look at this one, and kind of like the old one.
Yeah.
Did you make a copy of that one?
Hold the old one.
Here, I have an extra, I made an extra copy. Oh, sorry. Because public comments was on here and things anyway, and I do like that moved up instead of at the very end of a meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these people don't wanna maybe sit for 2 or 3 hours to make a public comment, so I kind of like that, we would do the call to order, and this one was, you make your motion on your agenda, you do your consent, and then you do your public comments, and then you can start with all the reports and the but then you have policies and everything else after that.
I like adding the financial one, because I think there should be some, like it should be just a.
Well, right,
automatic agenda.
right, and now this one, yeah, there is financials here, so yeah.
Right, but that's,
Well, and
The old one?
they're always there, yeah, the old one does, it says.
but that's about the bills, and not some of the consent agenda.
Well, it says approval of minutes, consideration of bills and financials. It has three different bullet points.
But how do you do financials under consent agenda?
Oh, yeah, that's that one. Well, we could,
I think that should be
yeah,
a
the
separate
older one,
financial.
no, let's see here, where did we put that? Okay, public comments, then we could do communications, which could be all the reports. Well, if we do communications, if I'm following the old one, and then we do other business, we should really do the old and the new, and then maybe after that, do financials? Before superintendent directives and executive session and all that, or where would, cause yeah, I mean, I wanted after public comments, and do we wanna do the communications and reports first, or do you want, or do you think before that?
Either way.
It doesn't really make a difference if it's old or new or whatever. Well, you know what, it could be part of communication reports. Maybe what we could do is how about you have you have a superintendent report, and we have a elementary principal, high school principal, we have an AD, just put the business manager in there as a report. That way I have to type one up, but just do.
Right, yeah, that would be fine as well.
Super. Elementary principal, high school principal, AD, business manager. And if there's not much to talk about, that's okay too, but at least it's something in time for questions, so, okay, we could do it there. Maybe, or right after it, or something or other, we could do after the communications reports, we could do financials there.
I'm not sure if I agree with the public comments not being toward the end. I understand your logic. But I think that the intent of this is for public comment to be able to comment on what we talked about at that meeting, instead of have to have it at.
Well, it's about the agenda, I guess, or whatever, so,
Right.
I mean, they still could even, talk about that. And even from the,
I don't see, because we had this when Mr. Strand was here, he did that all the time. I don't see it being used very much, but I think it's, I don't know, my opinion is it should be like the new one suggests,
what do you mean?
toward the end, before adjournment.
And I like how we did that they would have to come in, sign their name, address, and the topic. And then, once the meeting starts, nobody else can come in later and add their name and still wanna go ahead and make comments or
I'm
whatever.
not sure that we can do that. I'm not, I'd rather not, but.
Well, why not? I mean, otherwise, they could show up at any different time, and I guess I figured if they can't be there,
No, they can be there, but if something comes up during the meeting that they want to address, that they didn't sign up for at the beginning of the meeting.
well, then they can come the next one too. Cause you have to do one previous meeting agenda also.
Right.
I don't know, I guess go ahead, you have your opinion, I have mine, I guess I would just as soon do it, and we could address it and be done with it, but whatever. We can ask, I guess, the other board members or whatever, or something as to what they want, but we could kind of, we'll change this a little bit, and then we'll find out where we'll ask. Ask where. I'll have Aaron kind of type it up a little bit like this one. except we'll add the financials in there right after reports, and then,
It's a little bit like which one?
so like the old one.
Like the old one.
Yeah, except for after reports, we can do a financials in there with the business manager, and then ask about.
So you would add the pledge.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'd like to get rid of consent agenda, but
well, it's, you know, it's kinda nice, I mean, if minutes and everything are all good or whatever to go, I mean, there usually isn't any questions on pretty much most of that. Financials, it's just that they're just kind of presented as all, but yeah, the other part, maybe not even have financials underneath consent, because we don't talk about them anyway. I mean, up there, just keep it down.
financials shouldn't be under consent.
Yeah, just keep it down there underneath the communications.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take that one off. Okay, I'll give this to you then, to Aaron, to look at the old one, and we'll, okay. Did you see anything, oh, there was only a paragraph or so, I didn't see anything else. It looks pretty much like about how we had it typed up here before, so, okay, so, BC. Flip changes, and then I'll put down, and one question as to where to put public comments. All right, so that's what's on that one, okay. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, BCBA is next then. All right, this one. Okay, so let's go to the optional part, I guess, because the first paragraphs are all fine or whatever.
I was thinking the time for comment period is limited to 30 minutes, and the only reason I say 30 minutes is because, first of all, I think it will usually take 2 or 0, but, because if there's a big thing, I wanna make it so we have enough time. And then I said per speaker limited to 10, and the reason I said that long is because it says further down, I believe, that if there's a lot, we can back that off. We can say 5 minutes or whatever, if there's a whole bunch of, I don't know where it says that, but I saw it somewhere. There, right at the bottom, presiding officer may shorten the length of time allowed for each speaker.
That's if, there's a group. Right? Doesn't that, because it starts off with groups will be urged to designate a spokesperson, notwithstanding the rules and methods of large number of public speakers to be heard. Well, I suppose that just means that, yeah, we can ask them to do a spokesperson instead of, yeah. I don't know, I guess I absolutely disagree, but I knew you would on this one, so I say a maximum of 20 minutes, and, I was gonna say 5 minutes apiece, because, but whatever, so I think that's gonna have to be a board decision there.
Yep.
I was okay with the other stuff. And that side, I know we're gonna disagree here. I want option 2.
And I want option 1.
Yeah. And I'll tell you my reasoning why, is that we have no idea what they're gonna ask. And it's like, how in the world do you even, I don't wanna say anything wrong, you say one word wrong nowadays, and it's like, God only knows, to be crucified or to be sued or whatever else. And I just think,
But if we can't ask any questions to clarify anything, I mean, kind of what's.
well, it's a public comment, they can comment on things, but yeah, that's just my opinion, like I said, I just feel like I would want some time to think about how I'm supposed to answer these questions, but I knew that would be, that's no problem, I think this is a board decision here also.
I agree with that.
That is something we wouldn't decide on today.
How about, sorry, at the bottom of that one?
Yep.
Where it says discussion of a motion.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. Oh, that's right, I did miss that one. I think we should put in superintendent, or,
Technically, again, the superintendent, I guess that's a board decision, but technically the superintendent is supposed to be when asked
Yeah.
as well,
right,
but that's, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I guess it's alright for the superintendent when he's sitting there and going, I know something you guys don't know, to be able to.
Right.
Well, then otherwise, every single time, if you wanna say something else, may I speak, may I speak? And that was the only reason why I thought too, because I thought generally you're the person that's gonna know
Yeah.
the most about things or whatever, so, but yeah, we can definitely ask or whatever, but yeah, I had it circled that would be okay, so. But yeah, we can ask on that one also. DCCA, that was a recommended percent. I think that's something, I don't know if we're ready to.
We just did it. How can we not have it?
DCCA,
The signing code is it?
but I mean to actually have a policy about it. I don't think we've had one, do we? Did we? I didn't go back, I didn't go to pull that.
Well, we probably don't. And actually, we didn't do it. I'm concerned about that signing bonus. I think that. Because this policy says that they have to be licensed. Well, or approved, which.
Right, which is how that, you're talking like for or for facts.
Yeah.
Right, which the contract states that it has to have a teaching license by the time August of 2026, or the contract is null and void. I mean, that's for any of them.
Right.
If we hire a teacher in March and comes June and they haven't finished, they don't get it.
Well, when does he get the $5,000?
I think it's this fall is half, and then January is the second half, it goes towards his tuition.
Yeah, see, that's counter to this policy.
That's why I just didn't know if we were ready for this yet, or if that's something that should be more of a board discussion. If we wanna make a formal policy, I mean, that was only my thought on it, since it was a recommended one. I don't think we had, I could,
Well,
I just didn't know if it was something that we wanted to
So,
get into, or.
I was confused by that because it is listed on here, but there's no,
I could look at the whole book here.
I don't think I found it.
Yeah, like I said, I had written that down.
But I was confused why it was listed on here. Yeah, I don't know where to go with this one.
Yeah, we never had one before. In my old book, so. I don't know, I just didn't know if we really wanted to get into this and make it all specific, or if we wanted to have a conversation about it, or first, or.
Oh, I definitely have a conversation. I mean, I'm not.
Right, yeah, okay, so so they're not gonna okay it that we're gonna keep it, but we'll just say this one is to be a board decision. And I look at it.
Because it would have to be changed based on what we already did.
Right, yes. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that one just to be looked at by the board. Okay, then DDBD. Yeah, I didn't see anything different, so we don't need that one's okay.
Well, they changed the thing that they have to be, or they don't have to be here for a while to be eligible, but that's law, so.
Right, that's what I mean, it's like there doesn't look like there was anything I could change, so. Okay, then FCAA. There's a regulation along with that one too.
So about this, I'm a little confused because that other policy, or that
Wellness one?
Yeah,
the ACBD-E4, the emergency medication form, lists albuterol inhalers, or, asthma inhalers. This one does not. I don't know why this would, but I think it should. It just talks about EpiPens and not rescue inhalers. So there's my opinion that should be added.
right. Yeah, because
That's a much more common situation.
those, yeah.
My other question is, because this whole thing talks about, this plan being also for if a student is, a first time, like if you get a kid that doesn't know they're allergic to bees and they get a bee sting, can the school, and how can we go about the school having an EpiPen? That's always,
I don't
I
know.
don't think we can.
Yeah,
And don't quote me on this, Vanessa, but I believe it has to be something obviously prescribed by a doctor for a specific student. We can't just have it's not like, what's the stuff they use for overdoses?
Narcan.
Narcan. It's not like Narcan.
see, that makes no sense.
I know that, but that's,
I know, but I know like my
I get what you're
she
saying,
has it.
100%,
I mean,
but
is
it's
there-
regulated differently.
Is there any way we can look into that based on this change? Because this is brand new, right? No, it's not.
No, it's not a new one. They must have just made some changes.
They doesn't change regulation.
Right, I know, like my daughter too, it's like, hers usually runs out, but she has to go back and she has to have a prescription to have it, the EpiPen, and it's
Well,
like.
and I get for students that are,
Right, but I know what you mean, but it's like, we're just lucky that we're in a small town that we can be to a hospital and then,
Yeah.
in like 2 minutes, but yeah, I know what you mean. I'd hate to be a,
but anyway, for the time being, that's just something I want to bring up, but
Yeah,
where we add albuterol or
Inhaler.
rescue inhaler.
which paragraph was this
2.
again? On the, let me find what the spot was.
Well,
It's the second one, right, where it said first aid, epinephrine administration, I put epinephrine and inhaler administration.
yeah, I think there's.
We're looking at FCAA.
Yep.
Or is it FCAA-AR?
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm looking at FCA.
That makes, I don't have that.
So where I saw it was, under self-management.
I knew I read it, I just couldn't remember, I was trying to find it. Oh yeah, there we go.
Epinephrine auto-injector or any other epinephrine dispenser,
And then we could put down,
like, or rescue inhaler, or I don't know what the
right,
to.
yeah.
I don't know if you wanna. Yeah. And then up on the top of the page, there's another spot that lists again. Which there it does say epinephrine auto-injector or dispenser, but that would be epinephrine.
Right.
dispenser. And again, I think it should be principal, because they're the one
Yes,
typically in the building.
100%.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. So we can do that, we'll add the rescue inhaler onto that, and then was that also? Oh, this one you said it was- Diagrams.
Which paragraph are you including rescue handler?
Two places is what I saw, so under self-management,
That's kind of like if this is not
Into
appropriate,
that paragraph?
yeah, into that
and
paragraph.
then again under emergency protocol.
What, Aaron can work out there. Adding that provisionally there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's that one, the AR, was there something that you?
Actually, no, I
Mm-hmm, yeah.
like to defer to you and the principals on this one a little bit though, because
And it's just general guidelines, so that's one thing, but it's not.
I honestly don't like number 7. Encourage maybe, I don't know about enforce.
Yeah,
Hold on a second.
yeah. And I mean, I like the idea of not sharing eating utensils, but yeah, can you force it, but.
So do you wanna change that for sure?
Number 7.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then, instead of prohibited, say, well, discourage.
Will be
from sharing.
advised, it will be advised not to, or,
Yeah, something
Encourage
like
them
that.
not to. Well, I'll say advise not to.
not
to
to
share
share,
eating
yeah.
utensils.
I know, it's like, okay, come on. What a way to, share your flus.
So on this one, I have a question. Have we ever done IHPs? I don't even know what that is, and if there's somebody that should have been asked to do an IHP, it would be me.
Yeah,
Where are you looking at?
That's number 1 on the FGA
where it mentions IHP. Well, I think, wasn't it also that wouldn't have yours have been the 504 would have been like for the medications?
Well, so when every time I read that 504, I go back and forth, because, I mean, when Greg was little, yes, but as he was older, it's more of an awareness thing than actually, I mean, his allergies and asthma never affected, like, he didn't need any modifications,
Right. Mm-hmm.
just
So,
awareness, I guess, especially for the little ones.
mm-hmm, right.